I said stay home.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats for Stay Home for Labour. Please welcome your host, Crispin Flintoff.
Hello, welcome to Stay Home for Labour. I'm not quite sure why a younger looking me was on there. I think I'm just getting a bit narcissistic. I don't know what that was all about. But obviously I've aged a lot and it's embarrassing. But welcome to Stay Home for Labour. And we've got a fantastic show today. We've got music. We've got Clive Lewis coming in. And we've got comedians. We've got discussion on Labour. We've got about the Labour leaks. We've got everything you need if you're a Labour supporter. And to start the show, we've got music from a fantastic political songwriter from the Black Country, Jess Silk. And I am going to play now a clip of Jess Silk for you. So here you go.
Evening all, hope everyone's okay. My name's Jess and I'm going to play you a track off my new EP. It's called If We're Damned. Back here again, and I thought this time it'd pass. But it's always darkest before the dawn, and I am holding on to that. We got it wrong, and it seems that they're getting more right. And as the storm clouds all creep in, it's getting hard to see the light. But there is hope, and we've got enough to go around. There's a light that in the darkness can be a beacon that's not going out. There's a cause, and if we're down, we'll all go down together. We'll keep up the fight through the dark and stormy weather, 'cause that's all we've got. We'll hold on to each other. Get there in the end. The next act begins as the actors take to the floor. Whether a pantomime or a tragedy, the crowd still calls for more. The curtains rise, and it seems like everything's changed. But it's just a little bleaker now. The cause remains the same, and there is hope. We've got enough to go around. There's a light that in the darkness can be found. There's a flame, a beacon that's not going out. There's a call. Yeah, we've something left to fight for, and if we're down, we'll all go down together. if we're down, we'll all go down together. We'll keep up the fight through the dark and stormy weather, 'cause that's all we've got, and we'll hold on to each other, and we will mend. And if we're down, we'll all go down together. We'll keep up the fight through the dark and stormy weather, 'cause that's all we've got, and we'll hold on to each other, and we will mend. And we'll get there in the end. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much. I was just going to see if we can get hold of Jess, because it'd be great to speak to you. Jess, are you there?
I am here. Hopefully you can hear me.
Oh, that was great. Thank you so much for sending that
much.
video in. We did have people playing live before, but the signal gets so bad it breaks up. So it's much better to do it like that. But once again, my continuity wasn't perfect on the end of it. But, so how have you been coping with lockdown? Because you're obviously not getting live gigs, but I see that you're doing quite a lot online as well.
Yeah, I've been going a bit stir crazy, but I've just about fathomed out how to work technology. Obviously, I haven't, considering I was late today. But yeah, it's a bit weird doing the Facebook live gigs, but I found it's quite nice because like people from around the world can watch, where usually you're just playing to a small room of people who are there. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the way you performed there, it was as if there were 100,000 there. The emotion you put into it felt like you were really going for it. So it's like you don't really need a big live audience to get in the zone. Is that right?
I mean, I suppose I believe what I'm singing, so I've put some effort into it. But I don't know. That's just practice, I suppose.
And it's a great sentiment as well, considering what we're all going through with Labour not doing what we wanted in December, and then this coronavirus, to sort of talk about how we can get through this, and we'll get to the end.
Yeah, the lyrics have, I say, weathered quite well. I wrote it like the Sunday, started writing it the Sunday after the last general election in December, and I thought, I'm not going to make this miserable and angry, because that's what I've been doing with everything. I'm going to write something maybe not upbeat but defiant. So that's what I was trying to do. And yeah, the lyrics to the chorus especially do kind of apply at the moment, which is unintended, but I suppose.
Well, we need that kind of sentiment, because our spirits have to be high, or we won't bother going out campaigning or doing anything. So it's really good to hear that, and thank you very much for coming on the show live and recorded.
Well, thanks for having me.
I hope you'll come back on again.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And now I believe that our guest speaker Clive Lewis is online. Are you there, Clive?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can see myself on my own screen, so I take it I am. Yes, evening.
Oh, I like your setup there. It's a very good.
My house is a building site. I actually have bin bags in my bedroom window. I got caught out by COVID-19 quite badly moving. This is the best bit of the house. Everything else is the building site. So
is it
the bit? This is the good bit. Yeah.
Is that your oven behind you? Is that the oven?
It's the oven. It's not even fitted in. It pulls out. So yeah,
oh, wow.
it's a work in progress.
There's so much to talk about of you. You've been doing some work on a green some green legislation of some kind?
That's been going on for a while. So yeah, I mean, first of all, just to say, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. And it is actually my wedding anniversary. Wedding anniversary. So I'm in the doghouse because obviously I tried to blow one of your organisers out, and I forgot it was my wedding anniversary. And so I couldn't get out of it. And so I'm committed to the cause. I also forgot my wife forgot a present, so this is probably going to get me out of it for half an hour. I'm getting involved with you. So that's the first thing. Second thing, yes, the Green New Deal bill. I put that down with Caroline Lucas as a private member's bill. I did that back in 2017. I was, as you know, on the Treasury front bench, Shadow Minister for Sustainability, which John brought in. And it was my job to try and get the whole concept of the Green New Deal off the ground. It was a very difficult thing. As people know from last conference, it was very difficult because there are a lot of concerns about a just transition, and there are a number of trade unions and others who are sometimes skeptical about how fast and how far we can go. And what we tried to do with that, what I tried to do on John's team in the legislation, was to say that we can't be defined by the economics of this. We have to go by the science of it, because this is an existential threat, you know. And so that was one of the key tenements of how we approached it. And I'm really pleased to say that Rebecca and others picked up on that, and they kind of fed into what we were doing, and then they took away. We try to call it the Green Industrial Revolution. I think it's now morphed into the Green New Deal. We can talk about why I have an issue with the term Green Industrial Revolution. But ultimately, I think the Green New Deal is something which a lot of people have taken on. So I put that down with Caroline. I have to admit, John sent me a couple of angry texts about that. Wasn't happy that I was doing it to Caroline Lucas. As you well know, I have quite a broad concept of what progressive means. I often implore my comrades and colleagues to kind of adopt that to differing effect. But I think, you know, when you're heading off a cliff, which we are when we look at COVID-19, when we look at the rise of populist nationalism, we look at the ecological destruction that's going on, we look at the fact that this is probably not the last pandemic we will encounter. When we realize that we're hurtling off a cliff edge, it seems quite bizarre that we will start going, yeah, you're not progressive enough, you're not in the Labour Party. It's like, if we're at, you know, the ground is hurtling up towards us, at what stage do you actually start trying to together grab onto the rock to stop yourself from falling down? I think that's where I come from. I understand that's not it's not a perspective that everyone shares. I acknowledge that. We are a political party, a tribal party, but you know what? Parties don't have a right to exist. It's one of the things I said in my leadership pitch. Parties don't have a right to exist. And if we're not careful, we would increasingly become irrelevant. And once you become irrelevant, as we are in Scotland, we're irrelevant in Scotland, almost.
Can I just come in there? Because obviously you just mentioned about your leadership stand there, and you didn't get enough nominations to be able to put your ideas out to the members.
Yeah.
Do you think that your progressive thinking is holding you back in the party, because there is such a kind of tribalism that you won't be able to get onto those kind of leadership positions unless you do kind of compromise that? Is that a problem in the Labour Party, do you think?
I think we've got a cultural issue in the party at the moment, and how we do politics. And I'm one of those people who think that the right of the party, when I was on the left, when I supported Corbyn, when I was a parliamentary candidate, before when I was in the National Union of Students, arguing against Labour students and how they ran things, how they did things, what they were campaigning for loans, not grants, and etc. I remember the culture of that toxic culture of command and control, taking a line, and not allowing any kind of debate. And that culture, when I was on the left, we were saying the party should be more democratic, it should be more transparent, it should be more accountable. But the problem was, when we then came into power as the left, that was the pitch on which Jeremy stood about, membership engagement, membership participation, membership democracy, about giving power back to the members.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a democracy review and thinking, my it was a damp fart. And so I think what we have in the party is a culture on both the left and the right, which is that you talk about democracy, transparency, accountability when you're in opposition. When you get in, it's like, right, let's fix this NEC result here. Let's fix this parliamentary selection here. Let's tell people what they've got to do. You've dared to criticize us on Brexit. Right. You're no longer part. That culture isn't a culture that's conducive to winning elections, to building alliances. It's not a culture that I feel that I want to be a part of. So the alternative is to start talking about, how do you move away from tribalism? How do you move away from saying, look, we're not going to agree on everything, but what we do agree on, let's work together. You're in a different political party, Caroline. But let's not forget, as I said to an MP, who said, why are you doing a bill with Caroline Lucas? I said, well, don't forget, when you were in here for 10 years, throughout 10 years of austerity, she was calling for an end to austerity when we were talking about austerity light. So don't tell me that I can't do something with Caroline Lucas. So, look, I know people call Greens Tories on bikes, etc., etc. It's just name calling. We need to be bigger than that. We need to think about the challenges that are facing us.
Can I just say, because I feel for what your campaign was, because you had so many good ideas to put to the membership, but you didn't get off the ground in a way because of the tribalism, but also the party machine has been exposed in some ways by these leaks, and also I suppose the GMB story. And I'd just like to, I know I've shown you this before on social media, but I'd just like to show you a few little things to see what you think about this. This is the where the money goes for membership.
I think I used this in my leadership pitch. Yeah.
I mean, it gives the central party a ridiculous amount of money compared with local parties. But then there's other things like I could show you, is that I did a survey of all the people who are on my mailing list, which is quite a number of constituencies. And I asked them, for example, do they think they get enough support from the main party, the main office? And the response was quite resoundingly no. And then if you look at these results here, do they have a meeting place or a building where they can hold events? This is CLPs that, if we want to be winning on the ground, it would help if we did have somewhere where people could meet. They, most of them don't even have a place. 69% of CLPs that didn't have a meeting place. They have to rent a place.
Yeah. Can I come in on this? Can I come in?
Just one more. Just quickly blitz you with it. Do they? Oh,
it's Christmas time.
Oh, forget that one. Forget it. Yeah, go on. What did you want to say?
One of the things I try to raise in the leadership bid, and obviously, if you're going to tell your own, the PLP is probably one of the most labourist parts of the Labour Party, and tribal, if you want to call it that. And if you're going to tell people about the fact that they need to, you're going to tell people things which are difficult to hear, then that's probably not a pitch that's going to endear you to them enough to get you over the line. That's one of the reasons, perhaps. There are others, but that's, I think that was always going to have an impact. But if you look at who often becomes the leader of our party, they're often people who haven't made political enemies because they haven't really said that much. They've said things, but they've not set out what their political vision is and where they think things should go. And once you do that, you define yourself, you make political enemies. And if you think about Ed Miliband, if you think about, Jeremy Corbyn was an exception. If you think about Keir as well, what is Keirism? It doesn't really exist yet. No one knows what it is. It's to be defined. Can I tell you what Milibandism was? Not really, no. So you begin to see a pattern emerging. And I think if you have strong views and opinions, then they're going to bring you into a conflict with some of your colleagues and people in the party, and hence you struggle. So that's the first thing. I think secondly, what you're showing there is that I was talking about a crisis of democracy, and I was saying we can't engage in that crisis of democracy as a party unless we as a party clean our own house up. And if you look at the response of, for example, to COVID-19 of various governments, we're the fifth, sixth biggest economy in the world. America, the biggest economy in the world. And yet look at the state of their response, look at our response, the highest death rate of COVID-19 in the whole of Europe. And yet we're a bigger economy than Greece, Italy, and so on and so forth. So there is clearly something apart from our economic capacity and our ability to respond, which is part of that. Austerity has taken place all across Europe. It's taken place here as well. But one of the things I've seen as an MP, dealing with my local authorities here, dealing with Tory MPs, I'm in Norfolk, a lot of them, I'm the only Labour MP, is you listen on calls, the local authority is completely emaciated. When it was given responsibilities, it was like, you could hear it, the terror. We didn't know what to do. So the democratic institutions and how our democracy operates is a big factor in how successful you are in responding to those impacts. Look at Germany. Look at even Italy. They're federalized structures. They have federal institutions. So the key thing I think you can see there is that what we've got is a highly centralized Labour Party. It's command and control Labour Party that hoards power to itself. And the quid pro quo is, you give us the power, you give us your money, we'll give you a government. But the problem is, in the last century, you've had 8 Labour governments out of something like 20 odd elections. Yeah, we're not. And in Scotland, they're saying, well, we've given up on you, because the deal is that you're meant to win sometimes, and we're meant to support you. And all we're getting is a crap union, which we're tied to mainly Conservative governments. So we want to break off. We're not interested. We're not offering them any alternative. So hence, we're struggling with the SNP. So the issue for us as a party is, if we want to move away from that toxic culture, that centralized culture, that lack of transparency, of democracy, of accountability, then we have to do that ourselves. And then we can talk to the country about how we want to change this country, how we want to make sure that the BBC is democratized, how we want to make sure that our media is transparent and accountable. So we can't do that unless we do it ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, we haven't got much time, because
I talk a lot.
But, I'd love to, if you could come on here again, because what I admire about you is you really wanted to get the ideas out there, and you weren't willing to compromise on that machine kind of stuff and go with a clique and try and get a faction behind you. You just it's about ideas, and that's what we should be about. We should be about exploring ideas, and the ideas themselves should be strong enough to win, not who's supporting you and who's funding you.
I agree with you. And the key thing here is there's a thing that socialists need to understand. From thesis and antithesis comes synthesis. And synthesis is the kind of the best bits. No plan survives contact with the enemy, the public, the media, the opposition. If you take an idea and you put it to your comrades and say, here's an idea, they should be able to put it apart in a constructive way. And what comes out at the other end is an idea that is stronger and better. Because you compromise, but we don't do that. You come out with an idea and people go, boo, get it, yeah, shut up, sit down, not interested. You're in the wrong faction. Yeah, and that is a problem. And so unless we can get over that culture, we're going to struggle. And the clock's ticking on the climate, on everything. So, happy to come on. Happy to kind of gabble and talk. And
you've got a lot to talk about, and we need you to come back on. So you're committed to that. I've got it. I'm recording this. It's going out as a clip that you're going to come back on. So I'm
coming back on, Crispin. Can count.
And Patrick's on soon as well tonight.
Is he? Yeah. Okay. I look forward to I look forward to seeing Patrick.
Your wife's going to want you soon, or kill you. So anyway, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Right, so I'm going to move on now to I'm going to move on to Alan. Are you there, Alan? I mean, are you there, Boris?
Yeah, you gave the game away there.
So I thought you would. Sorry, I got you mixed up with someone else who doesn't look like you at all.
Well, that's all right. There can't be many people like that.
I believe that you've only got a couple of minutes to talk to me, Boris. What do you want to say? Quick.
Yes, firstly, I was going to say happy anniversary to Clive, that's up there with his oven in Norwich. That just to say that, like him, I often forget my anniversaries because I've got so many of them to try and remember, of course. But yes, today I did PMQs with Kierstar for the first time. And the clear message, Crispin, that came out of that was issues of suppression and testing. Suppression suppression of the awkward questions that people are asking at the moment. That's what we need to suppress. And we need a nationwide testing scheme so we can test everybody in the UK. So we can test them for how they react to the silly things we're saying so that we can adjust as we move the goalposts. That's right. That's it. Thank you very much. Last week you talked about Labour leaks. When I first heard that, I thought you were talking about some sort of new initiative by Jeremy Corbyn to encourage Labour members to grow their own veg. Is that not right? I think silence tells it all. But can I just tell you a little story about when I was at Eton? We had a jazz band, the Eton Jazz 5, and we had a bass player, Louis Lukakis. He had a Greek father and a Welsh mother, so we called him Exorber the Leak. I can see a few hands going together, some of them to their heads, and a few weird sounds. So yes, I'll leave it there for the time being. But just to say, I'm making some befriending calls tonight, which I think is very important to do at this time, to ring lonely and vulnerable people without friends in the community. So I'm going to be calling a Mr. Hancock of London and a Miss Patel of North Essex. Thank you, folks.
Thank you,
2
Boris.
minutes, guys.
Thank you.
Norwich for the cup, Clive.
See you later, Boris. See you later.
Yes. Cheers, everyone.
And just as Boris was saying, we've got our Labour leaks update now. And Pamela, are you there?
I am, yes. Hi, Crispin. Hi, everybody.
We're running late again, as every show. What's the latest since when was it? Saturday?
Yeah, okay, I'll try to be really quick. Still no suspensions. Over a month since Keir Starmer had the report and since it was leaked. No suspensions in that, and everybody will be aware of the very serious allegations in there. But also you'll be aware of the GMB leaks and really, really serious allegations there. And my understanding is that nobody has been suspended in that, and that's related to issues of severe sexual assault. So nobody been suspended. What has happened, though, is that female politicians who attended a meeting, including myself as a councillor, and Belle and Diane, there's been lots of calls for our suspensions for attending a Zoom meeting. So you can sort of weigh up what's going on here about what's important within the party at the moment. So yeah, the big news obviously this week is that Jenny Formby has stood down as General Secretary. And I think lots of people are very, very upset about that, because many people have told me that they're very worried that she's been pushed out. You'll remember that when Jeremy was elected as leader, the General Secretary continued for another 2 years. So there wasn't any change, and given what's going on at the moment, perhaps some continuity would have been good, particularly as Keir really came to his leadership campaign promising unity, and it would have been good to have kept her. But that's not to be. What has happened is that Keir has started to make some appointments, and one of his senior appointments as staff is somebody who's mentioned in the report, not a lot, but he is there, and there are rumours that he still wants one of the people who features largely in the Labour Leaks report to be the General Secretary. So that's rather worrying if that is the case. So what can be done? People are saying they feel powerless because they're not able to meet and discuss this, and initially I think some CLPs have been told by their CLP secretaries that they can't even discuss the Labour Leaks report. That's not true. You have to be really careful and obviously not name people or make allegations against people, and all of these things are allegations at this stage. But there has been some clarification from Jenny that constituencies can meet virtually, obviously, at the moment, and discuss this. They can't pass motions, but they can discuss it. There's lots of people who have been writing letters, petitions and things, including in Harrow. Quite a lot of members have put their names to a letter that's going to the unions, to Keir Starmer, and to, it was going to Jenny, but obviously now that she's gone. There are also, I know that I've seen messages on here about what's going to happen with the NEC elections. I've heard rumours that they might defer the NEC elections for a year, which is a bit of a worry. I hope that doesn't happen. But also with the new General Secretary, there's a bit of a kind of pushing that through at the moment, and there's a very short timeline for recruitment. I think they're going to make a decision by the 19th of May, which is very rapid recruitment for such a senior position. But generally, the new General Secretary does not take up their post until it's ratified by the conference. But we still don't know what's going to happen with conference this year, do we? Because it's looking like there may be another surge of the virus in September. So all very, very worrying. The other thing that's been raised with me a lot is concerns about racism within the party not being taken seriously, and that this is compounded by the lack of action around suspensions, but also misogyny, and again, compounded by the lack of action on the suspensions. But also that the team that's building up around Keir doesn't look very diverse. So what does this say for those who have concerns about racism, misogyny, ableism within the Labour Party currently? So all very depressing at the moment, but I think, you know, as Crispin has said, we can't get too despondent. It's great seeing everybody here. We need to keep everybody's spirits up. We need to call out the kind of disparity between those who are threatened with suspensions or disciplinaries and those who are accused of really serious issues and nothing happens to them. So well done, Crispin, for keeping it on the agenda. It's lovely to see everybody.
Pamela, you've always got something to say, and you only see you every 3 or 4 days, so it's quite busy what's going on, and it's probably because no one's meeting as well. And I've got to move on because we're late, and I've got loads of those to go through. I hope we can talk to you again on Saturday.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Thank you, Pamela. Now I'm going to quickly, because of, well, no, why should I be quick? Why should I have to ruin the best part of the show, which is my favourite part, which is the Labour Heroes quiz? Why should I be quick on the Labour Heroes quiz? Now, in the last show, John from Hastings was our champion. Now, John is not there. So there's this habit of people becoming the champion of the quiz and then chickening out of defending their title. So I'm going to start the quiz straight away. And if you know who the first person is on this screen, put it down in the chat and I'll come and see who you are. Okay, so this is the first person. Who is this? Right, here we go. I'm going to have a look at who has answered. Right, who's got this one? We got, oh, it looks like it was either Antoinette. Oh, it's Bonnie. It's Bonnie. Bonnie, Bonnie, are you there?
Hi there, hi.
You got it.
Did I?
Alan Johnson.
I got it, yay.
Well, you're the champion for this round, right? Now let's see how you do with the next one, because the next one is we're going into a little bit more difficult.
I might have got lucky there, Crispin.
Tell us all, you're from Sutton and Sheen.
Yeah.
And you stood as the candidate in the last election.
Yep, here in 17 and 19.
17 and 19, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, we've got good company here. It's good to have a Labour candidate standing for the Labour Heroes quiz as well. So here is the second question. Who is this?
No pressure. Oh my God.
Who knows their Labour history? Who knows about unions? Who knows about the end of
Neil Kinnock's dad.
Who knows about the end of the 19th century and the unions then? Anyone? Oh, hold on. You've lost your... right, we've got Sarah W. Is Sarah W.
I'm just trying to unmute.
Sarah W.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Have you not got a picture?
No, I'm just coming. There we are.
Oh, there you are. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Sarah?
I'm from West London, Lisson Grove, Westminster North CLP.
Lisson Grove. Oh, near where the Beatles recorded Abbey Road.
Yeah, a little bit down from there. Yeah.
Near there, yeah.
Near the famous zebra crossing. Yeah.
Near the zebra crossing. And are you a Labour historian?
Sort of, yeah. I write about the working classes in the 19th century, so Ben Tillett comes up a lot.
Oh, right. So you'll be looking forward to the next question, will you?
Oh, well, only if I get it right.
But the next question is a bit more tricky, because the next question is actually what we're doing in this one is we've got a candidate who stood in 2017 who could have won if the party had actually supported them. So who is this unlucky candidate? If you know the constituency or the candidate,
Crispin, we can't see. It's just a white line.
You can't see it.
No.
Oh, damn. Let me try again. Does that work?
No.
Oh my word! What's wrong with Zoom? I'm going to write a complaint to Zoom. I'll tell you what the constituency was, and then you can try and tell me who the candidate was. Southampton Itchin. Does anyone know who the candidate was?
No.
Southampton Itchin. Oh, Simon something. No, you're on the right. No, it's not Lorena. That's a different one. Okay, right. Because of how poorly Zoom's treated me, Sarah,
yeah,
you are the champion.
Okay.
And you're going through, and I'm going to have to check with Zoom why you couldn't see Simon Letts, the candidate for Southampton Itchin, who lost by under 100 votes, I think, in 2017. So that Zoom has messed up my favourite part of the show, and I'm really upset with that. But actually, my top favourite part is this one. Now, can you see that?
Yeah.
You can see that. And I'm going to ask Don, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello, Crispin.
Now, have you been able to write any more jokes? Because you write so many, it's ridiculous.
Well, what I'm doing at the moment is not writing jokes. I'm looking for a job because nothing's paying at the moment. So this is a message to Keir Starmer out there. I am a socialist. I am dyspraxic, autistic. I am a Hindu, ethnic minority, Indian as well. So Keir Starmer, give me a job and I can consolidate all your diversity requirements into one affordable political advisor. Get a little bit of diversity there. Also, instead of doing jokes, I've been doing some relaxing. I've been taking part in online gaming, virtual sports. Actually, on my online darts team, my nickname is Max Hancock because I keep missing the targets. What else can I leave you with? I'll leave you with a few more things. First of all, I'm trying different things during the lockdown. They say you should do something different every day that scares you. So today I read a copy of the Daily Mail. And also, I was looking up I think it's the IRHA definition of anti-Semitism, because our new leader, we can't judge him yet. He's a Zionist. I'm not a Zionist. I'm not an anti-Zionist either. Zionism is the determination for the Jewish people to have their own homeland, and I agree with that, Israel, but not at the expense of expelling Palestinians. I don't believe in a religious nationalism, like my parents' homeland of India, where they had to flee their village because of religious reasons, because everyone in that village was Sikh, and they were hairdressers. And finally, I want to leave with this. We must make sure that anti-Zionism does not mean racism. Being anti-Zionism is not racist. Real anti-Semitism is like when you say that all Jews control the media, which is simply not true. Everyone knows that Indians control the media, because ultimately we get to decide which publications to stock our newsagents.
Right. Well,
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you, Don. Jason.
Hey, hello, Crispin.
How have you been? Have you been working today?
Yeah, I was working. I've been at work most of the week since Saturday. I've been working, and I think some people are taking this self-isolation too far. I delivered to a house today, and it was boarded up. Like, they boarded up the windows. They had 2 planks of wood in front of the door. I don't know if they know that COVID-19 is not a burglar. It doesn't work like that, you know. But no, today, what I want to talk about, just a few minutes, just because I've got friends in this situation, I think the government needs to do more for single parents. Single parents need to get a lot more support during this pandemic, especially single mothers. But a lot of time raised by a single mother myself. My mum used to work 3 jobs while looking after me and my brother. I remember one Saturday night, she was working during the day, took me and my brother, came to a party, picked me and my brother up. We were driving home in the evening. She got stopped by the police, right? And the police came up to her and they were like, "Is this your car?" My mum said, "Yes." "Are these your kids?" My mum said, "No, they came with the car." Because back in the night, you got 2 black kids with every Ford Escort back in 1990. So then one thing they wanted to do, but they wanted my mum to leave the vehicle, right? They wanted my mum to get out of the car, and my mum refused. And she taught me how to be strong and not to get bullied. I always thought my mum refused to get out of the car because she was standing up to the police. But really, it's because it was raining and black women don't like to get their hair wet. So, also, one other thing, I think we need a new superhero. Single mum should be a superhero. We need to get in touch with Marvel and DC and make single mum a superhero. Please, what will be her strengths? Multitasking, all right? She can take the kids to school. She can do the weekly big shopping. She can save the universe and have dinner on the table by 5 o'clock every day. Her weaknesses will be Prosecco, all right? If aliens invade this country with a 2-for-1 voucher at Wetherspoons, we are all in trouble. Right? I just wanted to do a shout out to all the single mums out there. We need to do more for them. And yeah, everybody stay safe. And that is my time. I'm Jason Patterson. Stay safe and keep smiling.
Thank you, Jason. Patrick, are you there?
Oh, hello, Crispin. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah,
I'm on 2 different...
Thanks for hanging around, waiting. I know a bit late. What have you been up to?
Well, do you know what, Crispin? It was lovely there seeing our mate there back in Clive in Norwich. Have you got me on the right one, Crispin? I think you've got, me on the phone. Yeah, put me on the phone one. Are you on the phone? Yeah, that's better now.
Close this. What's this? A little. What are you trying to do our heads in with the kind of like two of you at the same time? Are you? Hold on. Are you there now?
Yes, I am. Hello, Crispin. How you doing? Yeah. Not too bad. I tried to open up Zoom on 2 different accounts so I could see if I could do twice as much time because I keep overrunning on the first time. So I thought so basically, it was nice that seeing Clive, lovely people that don't know that me, you and Clive all knew each other. Do you remember when we first went back, did that gig in Norwich Union for Stand Up for Labour? Do you remember back? We must have been in our 20s, back in 1968. Do you remember that gig?
Yeah.
It was such a lovely scene. I've been this week, do you know what I've been watching Normal People. Have you seen that yet on BBC?
It's brilliant. Yeah.
People. No.
You've seen it, Don's seen it. Everyone, listen, I keep asking people recommend something because we've watched everything. Normal People is brilliant. If you've not seen it, I know that we've got different ages on this Zoom chat. For the older people, let me tell you, I didn't realise how old I am because there was a lot of sex scenes in it, a lot of sex. It's on the BBC, the young drama. And I said to my partner, I said, there's too much sex in it. And she went, no, they need to have this sex because the characters are trying to show their emotions. And I thought she's right because if you cut all the sex scenes out of Normal People, it would literally be, hello, my name is Marianne. Hello, my name's Hannah. The end. That was literally it. 12 episodes and 2 20-year-olds just going for it. I thought, oh my goodness. But the other good thing about isolation this week, I don't know if you've seen this, there was a massive report the BBC put out that said not only is the planet resetting itself, but us as humans are resetting ourselves because we're getting to sleep properly now. We're getting proper long sleep because the rush hours now in the morning last for 17 seconds. It's 2 cars, 37 bikes. That is the only rush hour you see. And we're getting to dream again. Loads of people having vivid dreams. I don't know if you had any dreams, but I had a dream the other night that it was so vivid. I imagined everyone had a job. And it was one of the scariest things ever. I woke up in a sweat thinking, people have to go and work again. I thought, I'm just getting used to this. I thought we could have 8 years off. And then I watched this. I don't know if you've seen it, but there was Panorama did this thing about, about the test with the cotton buds, and then they put a video out for everyone. If you're going to try and order a kit off the internet, you can buy them dodgy now for like 50 quid or 100 quid or whatever. But watch this video, and I couldn't believe it. Have you seen it, Crispin?
No.
About the video? And so basically, it's a 6-inch cotton bud, right? And you've got to put it up your nose, you've got to put it in your mouth, and all this sort of thing. And I thought it's a good job I watched that video because I would have killed myself. I would have jabbed me. I would have And then do you know what I've done? I've been making a bit of money. I went to Asda, I bought 100 cotton buds for £1, and I'm now selling them on myself. So if anyone wants to buy a self-testing kit for me, you can have it for 20p. And I just thought, it is so dangerous, this self-testing kit. More people apparently are at risk from a cotton bud than they are from corona. It's just one of the most dangerous things. And then just very quickly, I don't know if we've got time for this, but some positive news, Crispin. I don't know if you heard this as well, but they reckon that the pubs are going to reopen. Hopefully, well, they're going to make an announcement at the end of this week, for next week, but they reckon the pubs might reopen by the end of this month for June. But you're only allowed to have 3 pints in the pub, 3 drinks, and then you've got to leave, which is going to be amazing because loads of people are going to be turning up to pubs with carrier bags full of wigs and disguises. It's going to be like going out with Mr. Ben and Mrs. Doubtfire. Who's just going to go, all right, I've had my 3, I'm going to go home. You're going to go, I'm just going to go in the bathroom, and you come back out. Tonight I'm going to be Shirley Bassey. And then you're going to go and have a listen. One of the craziest things.
Great to hear you, Patrick. I'll see you on Saturday then, yeah?
I'll see you on Saturday. God bless you. I've got some cotton buds. I'll bring them on Saturday.
Yeah, I want to see these.
Yeah, 6 inch. They're like this, 6 inches.
Oh, that's scary. Oh, right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You put them like this. You'd just rather take your chances with the flu.
Yeah, you're right. All right, see you later, Patrick.
I'll see you later, Crispin.
Suzy,
I'm staying on.
Hi.
How are you doing? You've changed, your hair's changed, is it?
Yeah, I've watched it. It's gone to a weird grey now.
It's on a grey. Is that the same dye you had before?
Yeah, I've every time you see me, I'll have washed it and it'll fade, thank goodness. But I'm having a really good day today. I'm really excited. Do you know what day it is? Not just Coronation Street Day, but I found out on Twitter, and I didn't know this was a thing. It's International No Diet Day. Did you know that was a thing? True. I looked on Twitter and I was like, yes, because obviously I was going to start today. But I couldn't be happier, honestly. Day where you throw the diet out and you don't care. I'm wearing horizontal stripes. And sorry. I will never be a competitive eater. This is
Have you done it before where you talk through a set when you're eating?
No, I've never done that.
No. And drinking?
But it's a special day today, so I've got to get it all done by midnight because after diet again. So no, I've just got to do what I can. Sorry.
What was that you were eating there? What was that one there in the tin?
Beans.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, but I've been eating my feelings today because even though it's a good day, unfortunately, I have lost a bit of work as an Adele tribute act today. And apparently, I'm no longer resembling Adele. She's lost 7 stone, so that's fallen through. I think she looks amazing. She looked amazing before. She's always looked amazing, but she's lost a lot of weight. And I don't know why people are commenting on it so much. I actually feel sorry for the people who work at Madame Tussauds, because they're going to have to go and sand her down, aren't they? They're going to have to melt a bit. But on the bright side, they can make a whole Greta Thunberg out of the leftovers, so it'll be all right. About that normal people, it's a romantic program, and I've been trying to stay away from romance because, you know, I'm on my own, and the only interaction I have with men is when I answer the door to the postman in my dressing gown with a gravy stain on it. But I did watch today. Did you see the Italian couple that fell in love over the balconies?
No.
Have you seen that? Because that's a story. You should watch more daytime telly, Crispin. You don't have your finger on the pulse of the pop culture references. They were on this morning, my favourite programme. They I still think Spinter wins a complete Suzy, you know, because I still haven't got on. Anyway, they fell in love over the balconies. They saw each other over the balconies, and they started sending messages, and they've fallen in love, and the lockdown eased, and they met up in the park, and now they're in love, they're in a relationship. And in the spirit of that, a lot of my well-meaning friends have started to suggest I date people and just trying to fix me up with people they know. In the last 2 days, my friends have tried to fix me up with one friend has got a man who was in a band in the early 60s who is now in his late 70s. True story. Apparently he's got a barn, and another friend tried to fix me up with a bloke who was on first dates who owns a pasty factory. Obviously I sent him a friend request. The third suggested a mate of his who, according to them, and I quote, "you probably won't fancy." And the final one, my friend texted me and said, "Are you watching The Real Marigold Hotel? Nick Cotton's on it. He's just come out of a relationship." So, Cotton out of EastEnders.
Nick Cotton out of EastEnders?
Yeah, apparently he's got a house in Plymouth. So, you know, it's ideal. He looks all right for 67. So I'll give him a poke on Twitter or wherever it is. I need to sort myself out, because obviously I think that the end is in sight, and I need to start taking care of myself. As you know, I've been growing all my body hair, so I feel like the time might be coming where I need to sort that out. And I'll leave you on a little bit of a serious note. To quote our dear old queen, better days will return. We will see our friends again. We will see our family again. We will meet again. I'll put that on Twitter. Lost 4 followers, guys. I felt like it deserved more, frankly. Thank you. I think I should get sponsorship. But anyway, I must go because A, Coronation Street's on, and B, my takeaway is arriving in a minute. So always lovely to see you. Take care.
Good to see you. Thank you, Suzy. See you on Saturday. Bye-bye. And talking of Saturday, we've got a really busy show on Saturday, including not only the clash of the CLPs, which is Sedgefield against Camberwell and Peckham, and that involves a quiz of 10 questions that are some of them might be a bit easier than the ones you've been seeing, and they might even see the people who are being referred to in the questions as well. We've got regular performers. Jason, your picture will be added to that later, just in case you're wondering. But it's hard to fit them all in there. And then after the clash of the CLPs, we've got a discussion about children, education and lessons from lockdown, a continuation of last Saturday. And we've got Rebecca Long-Bailey joining us and others. And it's going to be a fantastic show. So come along to that. But to leave us today, we are going to go and speak to Robb in his guitar
poised
emporium in So Robb, what's your song for tonight?
I want to do a song called Brown and Black in the Union Jack, because clearly there are people in the Labour Party, if the reports and the leaks are correct, who are actually not only in the wrong party, they're in the wrong country and on the wrong planet. And so this is for the people who I feel deeply ashamed to think of as being in the Labour Party, who've been racist and deeply unpleasant. I mean, this is all about me growing up in Hounslow. You know, I'm old enough to have grown up when racism was a real problem. I thought we'd grown out of that. I really thought we'd grown out of that. And just because that twat Cameron decides to declare that multiculturalism's failed, I thought we'd all know that that's just a Tory ploy. That's just a divide and rule Tory ploy. And in fact, we are a perfectly successful multicultural country and a society. You know, everybody's the same, everybody's different. So it's a song about growing up and realising that, you know, racism just stinks, as does anybody who engages in it, particularly in the Labour Party.
Right.
So please sing along.
I'm going to mute everyone so we can hear you better, including me.
Right. I remember I was walking down the Kingsley Road, Hounslow. I see a man look like I never see a man look like before. I go, Mum, look, there's a black man. Mum goes, shh, he's not black, he's coloured. But I'm confused. I'm 5 years old, and I'm thinking, well, aren't we all a bit coloured? Well, me, I was born on the NHS. There was an African sister helps me out into the world. Later on, I learned about the sugar and the spice, how it was slavery. Built a nice take gallery, and there's brown and black, brown and black, brown and black in the Union Jack. Or later on there was Billy's down the Kingsley Road, and the Peking Palace where my nan's only ever ordered fish and chips. But suddenly everywhere wasn't either grey and or closed. God. Now we get Bombay mix, Bombay mix, Bombay mix, and that's as British as fish and chips, and that's Jewish anyway. Brown and black, brown and black, brown and black in the Union Jack. Get brown and black in the Union, brown and black in the Union, brown and black in the. Let's have a rainbow. And it's Southall Broadway with the Hounslow NUT. Chanting who killed Blair Beach. The police killed Blair Beach. Then I'm the only gutter in the Hammersmith Palais. Dancing to After Sanky with my Punjabi sisters. Cause there's brown and black in the Union, brown and black in the Union, brown and black in the Union Jack. Like the Southall Black Sisters used to say, here to dance, here to fight, here to stay. Like the Southall Black Sisters used to say, here to dance, here to fight, here to stay. Brown and black in the Union, brown and black in the Union, brown and black in the Union Jack. Thank you. Hope you sing along.
Thank you, Rob. That was fantastic. We've really run late tonight.
Sorry.
But, it's good. I'm sorry we kept you from being on earlier, and all the other acts we've had to wait. And thank you.
Pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Coming along. I think we had quite a good discussion with Clive Lewis, and we've had some fantastic acts and music, and we're back on Saturday. And before I go, we're all going to say hello and goodbye to each other in the same raucous way. Often, by the way, I've heard people singing "Oh Jeremy Corbyn," and it builds up a crescendo on this. So let's see what happens. So goodbye, and I'm unmuting everyone now.
Jeremy.